Hello friends, we'll be discussing the concept of diminishing returns now. Now, the reason or rather the second concept of diminishing returns or rather the concept of returns has the second possibility, that means diminishing returns. What exactly it is, we'll be understanding that first. Now, let us assume that when existing firms of the industry expand their output, their average cost of production increases. We are assuming this. Similarly, or rather similarly, let us assume that if new firms enter the industry, they also face higher average production cost, because that is very obvious here. This implies that the expansion of the industry generates more diseconomies than economies, and the net result is an increase in the average cost of production. Again, very simple to understand. Why? Is because the moment you expand your output, there is additional units that are supposed to be prepared, additional costs that you have to bear. Hence, the average cost of production is going to increase, no matter whether it is a new firm or whether it is an existing firm here. Average cost of production is bound to increase here because the output is increasing. Now, with all these things, the supply curve of the industry therefore slopes downwards or rather slopes upwards, and implies that the industry will be ready to sell more only if the price offered increases. Now, the supply curve here. Okay, if this is the graph, this is the supply curve, this is the price, this is the output. At this price, you will receive only this much of output. If you want more output, if you want this output, you need to increase the price here. This is what they're trying to say. Hence, it is upward sloping. That's the reason. The moment you increase the output, average cost increases. Hence, they want the price to increase from this part to this part. This is what exactly needs to be done. Now, you understand that in the long run equilibrium of a competitive industry under diminishing returns, there is a graph that we have mentioned here for your reference. Let us go with that graph first. The demand curve of the industry is slope or rather downward sloping in the case also. In this case also, the demand curve is going to go down. I've already explained this diagram to you. Let me just reiterate that same thing in a simple way. Now, if this is the graph, let us assume, okay, this is the quantity, this is the price. This is what has been mentioned. Now, this is the point of equilibrium that you have mentioned, equilibrium that you have achieved here in the first place. Now, at this price, you are willing to give out this much of quantity. This is very clear. If the customer wants to increase the quantity now, that is Q1, I'm sure that means at this point, the quantity is going to reach here. All right, can you see this thing? The quantity is here. Hence, the price will be somewhere around here. Let me just increase the graph here. This will be the new price, that is P2 or either P1 and Q1. Hence, with increase in quantity, price is going to increase. This is what is the basic explanation of this specific graph. Hence, diagrammatic illustration of determination of equilibrium point is given in this specific figure. How exactly? With every equilibrium, the demand curve will be now this part. So, this will be the new equilibrium point that will be derived here. Hence, the corresponding equilibrium price and supply decision happens on this basis. How exactly things are happening here? This is how exactly things happen when it comes to diminishing returns. Hence, the moment the price increases, that's when equilibrium will be hit. But if the price doesn't increase and the quantity is supposed to be supplied, it will not reach increasing returns, or rather it will not give you constant returns. It will give you only diminishing returns. That's the reason if I say that if the quantity is increased here, if the quantity goes from this part to this part and the price still remains the same, you're not going to earn profit at all. It is going to be diminishing returns here. So this is the concept about diminishing returns that we have just explained to you right now. That's it for the video. Thank you.